Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and yes, I'm selling a bunch of my gear via reverb.com. Link in the description below to my Euge's boutique shop. Why? Well, I've collected quite a bunch of gear during the many years, and I thought that now it's time to clean the closet a bit, so to say. So what do I have here? Let's go through this. MXR Custom Shop. GTOD pedal. I don't know if they make these custom shops anymore, and this is labeled as GTOD. This is labeled as ZW44, which is Zakk Wylde's 44 overdrive. There's a switch on both of these when you open the box and the circuit board, and it requires a bit of job. So I got two of these, then another one is set to Zakk Wylde overdrive, another to GTOD. The circuitry is very close, and I believe the ZW44 Wylde's overdrive, I guess they just modified it, the GTOD a bit, so that it would be more like Buzz SD1, what he used before. It's my all-time favorite overdrive. But yeah, these two, Ford and Hex drive. A really cool clean boost, and around 11 o'clock it adds the clipping circuits, and the level, there's like insane amounts of really clean level boost, and the tone is kind of like, it doesn't really add highs, it adds a little bit more mids the more you turn this, and cuts the lows a bit. A quite unique pedal. Paisley drive, Deluxe. This is basically two overdrives in one. Paisley overdrive, and the since long time discontinued Underdog overdrive. You can switch the order and blend these. Pretty cool overdrive. There's some Velcro things here, but I've never played a show with this. This has just been on my studio board, like this one too. These two, the GTODs, I've used on a couple of Shining albums and many tours with Shining, and in the beginning I used this live with Syra, but then I went back to SD1. Friedman BOD, really cool. There's actually my live settings when I use this with New Neighbor Iconoclast. So these work for that. I don't know if these work with a amp, but yeah. So I have two of these. Nowadays I use live, hopefully if that happens soon, I use the Blue Guitars Amp 1 Ridium. So this is like a amp-like pedal, preamp, kind of, Marshall, modded Marshall on steroids in a box. Really cool pedal. JHS Angry Charlie. I never toured with this one. I just bought this back in the day because I wanted to know, because this is like a JC Maynard in a box, and I have 3 here. I was just interested, and yeah, this is like an 800 in a box. So basically you can turn pretty much any amp into 800 like amp. It's kind of like modded 800 because there's more gain on tap than on actual 800s. But yeah, I've done a few videos. Actually, I've done probably videos of all of these pedals, so check out my YouTube channel. Well, you are on my YouTube channel now, but anyways, the gear demo section, whatnot, but they are there. Then pretty cool more overdrives. This UK Gold 900. This is like a Marshall JSM 900 in a box. This was my spare pedal for Syra tours, if something would have happened to this. And this is a US Gold 100, which is basically Mower's version of the Friedman BOD. Pretty cool also. They have a cab simulator, which actually is pretty good. I've done videos of this. Another Moore Mod Factory. This was on my live board when I was in Shining many years. There's like chorus flanger, phaser, whatnot, like a Swiss army of Swiss Army. Swiss knife army. You know what I mean. Many pretty cool like modulation effects. Analog echo, Morse. It's kind of like bus analog delay, but I'm more of a digital delay guy. And moderator, you know, cab, power amp, simulator. These were my spare rig for Syra back in the day. So pretty cool. I've never actually played a show with this because the Friedman and the New Neighbor iconoclast never broke. Then this I used Moore P100. This I used to, you know, warm up backstage. It's like, you know, pocket size. It's different kind of amp modulations. 99 factory pieces, user pieces, lots of effects, drum loops, whatnot. So, you know, I won't record with this, but it's cool to practice and warm. Bugera PS1 Power Soak. I've done a few videos of this. I used this with my cab when I was jamming here and when I give, you know, Skype guitar lessons to people. So I use this cab and stuff. But now I have the Sandrock React IR, which has a attenuator. So I don't need this. But this does the job, you know. It attenuates so you can crank your tube amps master to get the full power and then tame it down with this so you can actually play at moderate volumes. Then radial headbone. This is an amp switcher. I've used this on many of my videos. So you can switch between two amps. But again, I don't need this because now I have a KHE, which is an amp switcher for 8 amps. But this works like a charm. It's remotely controllable, so you can have this in your rack on top of the amps and have a foot switch to switch between them, or you can have this on the floor. Pretty cool. And then, last but definitely not least, I have decided to sell this. This is my JSM 2000 TSL. One of my favorite amps, very underrated, but I have so many amps. I mean, I have more than what you see here. So I just thought that because, you know, this is great amp. You can get like 800 tones, really good clean tones, modern high gate tones. I've done many videos where I compare this to 5150 EVH amps, 800s, and it works like a charm. And there was like some faults in the design when this came out, but this one I've had them fixed. So this has been checked by a professional amp tech, and so everything works. So there was the speaker out, there was some grounding problems, that's been fixed, then something else in the circuit board, but everything's been fixed. This has been retubed last year. I haven't played a show with this ever since. It's been here in my home studio, and I actually used this on my latest solo album, Shooting from the Hip, for cleans and then some overdub melodies and stuff. So it has a JJ ECC83S tubes and then 3 Engel ECC83S, but they are JJ tubes. They just have Engel stamp. So basically for JJ ECC83S. The power tubes are new too, changed last year. They are Svetlana EL34s. So yeah, this is a very versatile 3-channel amp, and I have also the foot switch. So clean, crunch, lead, reverb on off, effect loop on off. The series and parallel effect loop, and 2 effect loops for clean channels and overdriven channels. So this is a very, very versatile amplifier. So yeah, I'm gonna actually clean this, put this on and play a few things with this so you can hear how it sounds. Alright, so I'm just gonna go through the channels and play some basic stuff. So the clean channel, it's really, really clean. then if we add the mid boost, which actually disengage the mids, I think, you get this really bluesy. We can boost it a little bit. So you can get it to almost kind of like, you know, overdrive territory. Okay, crunch channel. This is very much like JJM 800 too, at least to me. And there's lots of gain on tap. It's now on 7. Cool, and there's tone shift, which, you know, makes it really scoop sound, so you can get really modern sound. Okay, lead channel. There's a little insane amount of. I have it now on noon. You can use it in rhythm as well. And then there's reverb controls. I don't usually use reverb, but yeah, there's a slight reverb there. And you can dial it more if you want. And then there's a effect loop mix. So you can operate this with a series and parallel loop, and a presence control for clean and both lead and crunch. And then the deep switch, which I had now on, so it adds this, it's kind of like a resonance switch on, let's say, 5150. It adds a certain amount of low end thump. So if you take it out, you might need to increase the bass levels a bit. But I like to have it on, so it's really deep, and then, you know, moderate amount of bass here. So the bass is like a noon on all channel basically. And then there's a deep switch on both lead, crunch and clean. And then there's this VPR, which kind of like changes it down, so it's really quiet. So you can, it's kind of like built-in attenuator. So you can have it, because now I have the master on 5, around 5 on all channels, so it's really loud. I'm recording this too via my reactive load. So if you have a cabinet, you can, you know, tame it down and then completely mute the amp. And one way, cool way, is how I like to use a crunch channel. Let's actually use the ZW44 overdrive to boost the crunch channel. So it's really crunchy and powerful amp. And the guitar is just a stock LTD Phoenix with passive Duncan pickups. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you know, about the gear and stuff, please ask them in the comments below. But, you know, go to my Reverb site. So there you find pictures and more info about the gear. Thanks for watching. Take care. All the best. Bye.